my channel. I'm here with a little different video, but I have some very special birthdays and a baby shower coming up very soon, and instead of just buying a regular gift, I wanted to do something a little special that I put a little extra effort in. So I went online and scoured the internet, and I found the no-sew blanket, which I'm sure some of you are very familiar with, but I thought I'd do a little tutorial on my channel showing you how to do one. So the one that I'm showing in the tutorial is this super cute one, and it is a no-sew blanket. So the back is gray and the front has this really cute print, and it says dream big, little one. If you know me, you know I love Disney, and I'm all about dreams and reaching your goals, and you know, a dream is a wish your heart makes. So it's fitting, for me at least. So this is the blanket I made, and this is not the knotting technique. This is like a slip knot, if that's what you want to call it. I'm not a Girl Scout, but you know. So it's not the actual like tie in a knot technique, it's a slip knot, and it lays a little flatter, which is why I chose it. So this tutorial today is going to be on how to make this blanket. First, you're going to want to head to the craft store and pick up your fabrics. So you can pick any 2 fabrics that you want. I chose to do a print on the front and a solid on the back, and it's fleece. It's a no-pill fleece. Peel? You know what I mean. Fleece blanket. So you'll pick 2 that you want, and you're going to want about 1.5 yards of each fabric. If you go to like Joann Fabrics, I don't know if there's one near you, but they have coupons online, so you can save a ton of money, and you can stack their coupons. So I used like 4 coupons and saved a bunch of money. So you're gonna wanna pick your fabric. That's step 1. Some extra supplies you don't necessarily need, but they come in handy, are going to be, this is a rotary mat. So you can use if you get a rotary cutter, you can, you know, lay your fabric on top of this and use it so you don't cut anything else. But what's great about this is it also has a grid with 1-inch gaps. And so this is gonna come in handy when it comes to cutting your strips, which I'll show you more in just a little bit. The next thing that you might want is this little like square grid. I know we already have one grid, but I like to cut, I'm like very particular. I like straight lines. And this will allow you to count your inches. So how many, sorry, the ring light's reflecting in there, but you can count your inches like going up, and then you can also keep the rotary cutter smooth against the ledge, so it'll give you a straight line versus a jagged line, which you'll see what I'm talking about in a little bit. So now this you don't actually need, okay? So those other two items you don't need either. This is a rotary blade or a rotary cutter. See, it's really sharp, so be careful. So this makes cutting the fabric so much faster. Like the process is cut in half time. At least it was for me. So this is a very essential tool, and I think they actually sell this and a mat in like a bundle deal at Joann's, and again, you can use the coupons to save on it. Especially these will come in handy if you plan to do more in the future. I borrowed these from a friend, but I actually will probably buy my own because I plan to make more of these blankets in the future as well. So the next thing you don't need, but I liked having, was painter's tape. I had some at home, so I didn't have to buy any, but this helps to make a you'll see what I'm talking about when I show you soon, but it's a line. It'll help you to make a straight line for you to cut against with the rotary cutter, and you'll see what I'm talking about soon. It also gives you a boundary because we're going to cut strips along the side, and it'll give you a boundary for where to stop your strips. Did that make any sense? Sorry. Okay, the last supply that you will need is a pair of scissors. You can get any scissors that you want, they'll work. I just coughed, so if my eyes are watering, it's because I had like a really bad tickle in my throat. But anyways, I bought this pair of scissors. It's meant for fabric. They're really sharp. There's a safety on them. Obviously, it's still sharp, so keep out of reach of kids, you know? But it helped me to make the cuts better because it is meant for fabric. So I bought this pair of scissors. You can use any scissors that you want, but this is the one I got. Okay, so that's all the supplies you're going to need. And I forgot to film this first part, or the first step, which was to cut your sheets into even squares, essentially. So you'll lay one on top of the other. The bottom layer, lay down flat on the floor with the face down. The top layer, which is probably your print, lay on the top and make sure it's face up, because we're not flipping inside out or anything. The face that you have up and down will be the face that you see, essentially. Did that make sense? So once you have those laid down together, you're gonna want, they're not gonna necessarily be even, so you're gonna need to cut and make them even. So this is where the painter's tape comes in handy. I went around the edges and just placed a strip of tape along all the edges, and then I used my rotary cutter and just cut it. And it made it really fast and easy with a straight line to get 2 even pieces of fabric. So let's jump on into the tutorial and see how the rest is done. Wait, pause. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the bell so that you can see when more videos come out from me. Thanks.
All right, so now the next step, as you can see, is to go ahead and map out with the painter's tape a 3-inch gap from the edge of the fabric up 3 inches. So you want to put the painter's tape around the edge, showing where the 3 inches are. And then after that, you're going to cut out a 3x3 square in each corner, as you can see I've done here. And you're going to do that in every corner. Now you can see that I have the rotary mat out and my little ruler. And I'm using it as a guide to cut 1-inch strips 3 inches long. So the tape helps me to cut off at the right point, and the rotary mat helps me to space it out 1 inch each. And I'm using the little square ruler to make sure that my lines are straight and in line. And you're gonna do that all the way around. As you can see, I've done here, I did it all the way around on every single side, 3 inches long, 1 inch wide strips. So this is basically what your blanket will look like after you've cut all the strips. And you're gonna wanna make sure before we jump into our next step that you take all that tape off. So next comes the fun process, or the tedious process, of doing our knots. The first step is to fold one flap over, or I'm sorry, one set, you know what I'm talking about? One of the strips, you know what I mean, over and snip a hole. So you'll have 2 tiny little holes in each piece of the fabric. And you take the bottom layer and slide it through the top layer. Then you take the new bottom layer, which was probably the print, and slide it through the new top layer, which was the solid. And then you take the new bottom layer, which is again the gray, and slide it back through the top layer, which was the print. That way you have the gray on top. So let's repeat that again. Fold over, snip it. You have your top layer and your bottom layer. You take the bottom slit and slide it through the top, pulling it all the way through. Then you take the new bottom layer and slide it through the top. And pull it all the way through. You could leave it like this if you wanted to, but I like having it with the bottom layer on top, so it kind of just gives it a different look and flair. So I slide the bottom layer, which is the gray one, back through the top one and pull it tight, and it gives this like nice finished off look. If you flip it over, you'll see the print, and then on the top you see the gray, and I feel like it combines the 2 fabrics nicely. Then you just go all the way around repeating the process on each one. And if you want, I'd say after about 1.5 sides, you could honestly move the blanket to a more cozy location, throw on some YouTube in the background, and just sit back, relax, and do the knots, which is what I did. Crawled into bed, threw on some YouTube, and just sat back, relaxed, and just knotted the blanket the rest of the way. When you're all done, you'll get a really fun, easy, but loving gift to give to your friends and family. And it's so cute, and I personally love it and can't wait to make more. But I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye!